Um, Hello to people uh, outside Australia as well as in Australia. Um, on my the COVID lockdown. Saturday Australian time in the evening. Greater Sydney, Blue Mountains, Central Coast, and Wollongong were placed in 2 weeks lockdown. Now there's other states as well. Um, have are starting to restrictions or lockdowns. Um, um, the so uh, in the Australian Football League, because some people in America and Canada and other parts of the world. So I just want to explain. There's 18 clubs in the AFL. And so there's a certain amount of clubs in Victoria. Um, Geelong is the only club uh, outside Victorian club that is outside of Melbourne. Um, so there's I'll go here and we go through the clubs, right? Okay, so there's Adelaide Crows from South Australia, Brisbane Lions, Brisbane Club, Carlton is from Melbourne, Collingwood is from Melbourne, um, um, Essendon is from Melbourne, Fremantle is from Perth, uh, Geelong Cats is from Geelong, which is outside of Melbourne. Uh, Gold Coast Suns is from Gold Coast. GWS Giants is from Sydney. Hawthorn is from Melbourne. Melbourne is from Melbourne. North Melbourne is from North Melbourne. Port Adelaide is from Port Adelaide. Adelaide, yep. Richmond is from Melbourne. St Kilda is from Melbourne. Sydney Swans from Sydney, of course. West Coast is from Perth. Western Bulldogs, which they used to be Footscray, is from Melbourne, right? So, yeah. So, anyway, so go back to all this. Yeah, so the Adelaide Crows and Port Adelaide Power will join the other 16 clubs in Victoria with doubts surrounding whether Saturday's. I'm not. I want if it means that the season has a pause, then it has a pause in it. And if they have the grand final, like if it yeah, I just hope and I'm gonna pray to the Lord for things to get better. I'm sick of all this COVID-19. Although Australia's not as bad as other countries, but we're having restrictions and lockdowns. Um, so they will remain. But if there's problems in Victoria, right, then all I can see, if all of Australia eventually has problems, well, they may even have to pause the season. They haven't done that yet, but so that's what's happening in Australia. So now sport is sport. Human life is more important. So COVID-19 in Australia. Right, so, but the number of cases isn't high, but still yeah, so we just have a little look, right, because I don't care if sport stops for a while, fine, whatever, right? People's safety and well-being is more of an issue. People's lives, like, is more important than a sporting, yeah. Yeah, okay, so let's see, we'll have a even if I amplify it too. Right. So at least that's bigger text. Yeah, it's the last day of June. Right, okay, so Alice Springs and its surrounding areas is the latest place in Australia to be sent into lockdown as the country battles a fresh wave of COVID-19 affecting almost all states. Yep, that's why all the clubs, Australian Football League clubs, that's what the AFL is, that are based outside of Victoria, have gone to Victoria at the moment. 5 members of a South Australian family have tested positive, but the state has held off on a full lockdown. Meanwhile, there are 22 new cases in New South Wales today, 3 in Queensland and 1 in Victoria and Western Australia. So none so far in Tasmania to my knowledge. Okay. I just pray for people's safety, that's all. But anyway, this is just an update of COVID-19 update in Australia. It could be a lot worse than what it is, so, but still, okay, so, yeah, so they're the only states, and the ACT are there, so, yeah, all current lockdowns and border restrictions across Australia, so, yeah, so they're all locked down. But I wouldn't be surprised there's cases in South Australia, so yeah, and if the AFL season has to come to a halt for a while, so be it. I just pray for the Lord Jesus to end COVID-19 worldwide as soon as possible. And yeah, and that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, okay. Thank you.